Are you part of the 12?
Me?
Yeah?
No.
Well, we have a few more to come. Do we need to let him know when we're ready to start? He's good.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start. We might have a few more people come in, but we don't want to hold you all up. First, I want to thank you for coming. My name is Sherry Grosso, and I am the Associate Director of the Student Learning here at CTE. And I also teach. I teach in class and online. And so I am really excited to have this. I know what a good product her class is. And I am going to let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about what her background is and how she got involved in this, and then I know that she wants to make this what we do. So again, thank you for coming, and we'll get started.
Okay. I'm very flattered to be here. The title of this presentation was Novice to Pro. Now, I don't know how pro I am at this point, but I do know that in the last year, since we have developed this course, that we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. And I will be the first to say, as far as technology, I'm good at a lot of things, I think, but I am very limited. I can turn the computer on, I can turn it off, I can send emails, receive, you know, very, very limited. I can even put a picture on Facebook. I'm always stunned when that works out. But the beauty of the Center for Teaching Excellence is that you have these people here who can help you with that kind of thing. You know, they need the information that you have, and you certainly need the information that they have. So first of all, and I will tell you a little bit about me, my background is pretty much in state government. My affiliation with Women's Studies is I was appointed by Governor Hodges as the director of the South Carolina Commission on Women back in 1998. So it was there through his administration. Then came here to the university after a period of time and was the Associate Director of the Institute for Public Service and Policy Research. About 3 years ago, that program there was a reduction, and it really worked out okay for me because I had enough years in state government to go ahead and retire. But with that said, Women's Studies, because of my affiliation with the Commission on Women, had asked me to teach one class. So I have really only been teaching since 2007. So I would slide out from the Institute and teach my one class, and got a few semesters of that under my belt and really did enjoy doing it. So I've taught in the classroom, and then this opportunity came up about a year ago, and what I want to do is to show you what this experience has been like and really just go through my course with you. But before we do that, okay, I'm Becky Collier, Women's Studies. Can we just go around the room real quick and you say your name and what department you're with?
My name is Sonia Mara. I'm in the marketing. Jen Bahadur, marketing department. Suzanne Adlock, communication sciences and disorders. I run a grade communication sciences and disorders. Susan Spencer, HPD, one immersion education behavior and social studies. Stephen Kennedy, economics department. Dave Murray, health services policy.
Okay, and we're making introductions. So you are.
I'm Jennifer. I'm late. I'm sorry. I just drove from Charlotte.
Oh gosh.
I'm in the
Okay, great. Okay, this is great. Now, my next question is, how many of you have had an experience with some type of online teaching, and you just want to maybe get some tips on making it better? Okay, so everybody else, a couple who have not had, who is that? Okay, just a few. Okay, so half and half. So some of you guys could probably give us some tips. Okay, again, here there are several instructional designers who helped me an awful lot. When this opportunity did come about, I asked some students what their experience was with online learning, and I got comments like, it's kind of boring, or it's difficult to understand the directions, the instructor was not available. So what we decided to do is to really try to make this course as much like a classroom experience as we possibly could. And I was at a place, and I think it's a good place in my life to do this, where I could make myself available to the students, because I did hear that. And so I was going to be committed to doing that. And then we wanted to make it very, very user-friendly. Lots and lots of details. Now, this course that I have developed, I feel like we're a we thing here, is completely online. And I was told you could do be in the classroom a little bit, be online, whatever, but I'm sure you all know that. But it is completely online. And what I would like to do is just show it to you. I think that that might be the best way. Maybe you could see something that you haven't been doing that we're doing, because it seems to be working. Now,
is this an undergraduate class?
yes, it is. It is an intro women's studies course. And it's the type of course, it's not organic chemistry or something. It's where the beauty of it is that there can be a lot of discussion and interaction, and we can throw things in and pull things out and that type thing. So first thing I think we ought to look at here is this menu. And we'll start with some of these announcements, and I don't mind telling you, one of the things that I did here, and I'll go to the end of this, or I'll go to the beginning. Like this first email that I send to students is long. This is my welcome. But once you've got this thing, once you've got it composed, you just go through the next semester and change the date. I try to be very friendly, friendly enough, and I actually think a few weeks before this I alerted them to the fact where books were. This was a few days before the course started. We discussed the menu. This type of dialogue, we say it over and over and over again. Where the books are, I'm sure you probably do the same kind of thing. Look forward to seeing you in a few days. So I generally send these announcements out once a week, or maybe even more. Say this one, for instance, is week 2. They all made introductions. And if anybody wants me to stop, or ask a question, just give a holler. So week 2, week 3, this is what's great about this Center for Teaching Excellence. Somebody asked me a question about technology. Forget it. I just went beige. They sent me an email, something that didn't work well. I called here. Now I know the tech support that I could call myself, and literally, Aisha, who is not here today, who's the instructional designer who's worked with me, she literally said, say this. So here I am, and they think I am so smart. If you are using Chrome, I had no clue what Chrome was, but this worked. So in the beginning, we found out that there was, the technology is to be expected, that they're going to have some problems, and particularly in the fall with new students. This is week 3. Again, it's lengthy, but I use the same thing again. I wanted these students to know that I was watching them, that I'm going in, I can check and see how often they access the site. And some of them, after a couple of weeks, I had to nudge them a little bit. And I'm willing to do that. I try to use a lot of energy and a on Mondays, and I have to go home today and do it, I will check their discussion posts. They know when they're due. And again, I will constantly say, they'll count 10% of your grade. You know, don't ignore these small assignments. This was a reminder. I did it again last night. I don't know if it's football season. We started out with some of these assignments due on Saturday. Forget it. We make them due on Sunday night, if you're really going to be realistic about it. This was just a little nudge because I checked and I could see where a lot of them, like midday Sunday, there were a lot of them who hadn't signed on, and I send this little nudge, and all of a sudden, I do a little hand holding, and I'm kind of at the place where I could do, oh, this is hilarious, we will go to it. I gave a practice quiz, and when I show it to you, they thought it was for credit, and it's just, you know, you have to make everything clear, very clear. Another goal, we wanted to try to cover everything we possibly could. So this is an example, an exam. Put this in bold letters. Now it's on the syllabus, it's in the module, you know, it's in 3 places. But I had this semester 50 students in each class. So you've got 100 students, and there's, you know, what we're trying to avoid is going back and doing damage control and putting out fires. I'll remind them again. So I use the announcements a great deal. So you see that. This is one I sent yesterday. Read this first. Is very detailed. It is, and the language is hopefully, you know, it's very encouraging, but it's very realistic as well. It is online learning for me. You need to be able to put in, and see this last sentence, you know, that you need to run if you think that online classes are easier than classroom. They are more convenient in a lot of ways, but I mean, you guys of course know that, but I think you just have to continue to tell them over and over. So we've got this, and hopefully they did. And so I make this commitment to them that I will answer every email within 24 hours. I do say that I don't generally check them on Saturday and Sunday, but I do. Talk about emergencies, you know. Tree fell on my house. I did get that. I think the tree really did fall on his house because there was a terrible storm, and you know, he was in Hartsville somewhere. I had somebody this summer he was in China taking the thing. And this is where I say I'm available Sunday to Thursday, but I do check it, and I do get questions anyway. In the read this first, here's the syllabus. We're going to look at it in a second. Talk about the modules. These checklists are just great. I mean, they can make a copy of this thing, and they check it like your grocery list of everything they're supposed to do, even though it's in the modules. Resources. Of course, there's the technology resource. So this is, now this was we added after that first semester because they were having a problem with the Mac issue, so we wanted to try to cover everything. All right, what am I supposed to do now? They say. All right. Okay. Now, I'd like to do this over, but I did a little video of myself so that they could, you know, see me in the flesh and not just hear my voice. I guess it's coming. It's not coming up. It's a little YouTube video. And we recorded it right over there. There was a different picture there at the time, actually. You know, just welcome to the class. I hope they enjoy taking it. You know, just so they'll see this is the person I'm hearing. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, is it? Here we go. Right here? Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't get too excited about this. I need a oh gosh, here I go. I need a vacation. I don't know where it went. See what I mean? Oh, good. All right, y'all get that. Click on this. Okay. Okay. Anyway, you saw a little piece of that. Here we have the syllabus. And my syllabus is 12 pages long. Again, and we're all required to have these learning outcomes, readings, structure of the course. We'll talk a little bit more about that. This is what is included in the modules. We tried to include a variety of things, and I'm going to show you a module in a minute. Course requirements. I'm sure you all do this. Communications. Some of the same things that were in the read this and grades. What the assignments are. Quizzes, group discussions. Little rubrics there that, you know, if they're discussion board, somebody's is really a good fat paragraph and somebody else just says, I agree. I'm really not getting that, actually. They write papers, little 2-page papers. Disability services, we make sure that if anybody has an issue, and I've already referred somebody to disability services, we got to put that academic thing in there. I learned my lesson about writing long papers, not to ask students to write long papers. And of course this is the syllabus. Okay. Let's get to the weekly modules because I wanted to show you a few. The first module and again, they've got the menu over here, but it tells them, read this first, look at the syllabus. This was this little video. Then I had them do student introductions, but the instructions are so clear as to how to get there and how to do it, how to submit it. And this was good because they learned about each other and some of them started up little conversations and, you know, just like you can do in the classroom. Let's go to number 5 because there are a number of things in that module for the 5th week. Okay. All right. 5th week we decided we might want to ask for a little feedback. How are things going? Wasn't sure about that, but I'm glad we did it. So in this 1 week, and we'll look at this feedback, we had this feedback. Here are some lectures. And I'll show you how one of those works. We have some videos here. I think we have a discussion group question in this week, and an exam review sheet, and a little sample of how to take the exam. I'll go back here. This is the feedback. Yes.
So in terms of content delivery, did you actually like video record lectures or things like that, or is it they're expected to read and then they watch these other videos and participate in other activities?
I videoed, I recorded lectures,
Okay.
lots of them.
Okay.
I'll show you one
right.
in just a minute. I sure did. Funny story there. They set up with the Adobe presenter and a laptop, and again, and so I'm sitting at my dining room table sometimes at what, 10, 12 o'clock at night, and it's me and the dog now, and the dog thought I was crazy because I'm just sitting there talking away and into this computer, but and most of the slides are only a few minutes long. But I was about 5 minutes into it, and I did not know how to go back and fix things. And so it's funny, I think it frustrated him, but we laughed because you can hear every now and then in these videos the dog going in and out the dog door. You can hear this flat, and I'm just talking away. So those are things that, but I could not stop. I'm sorry. And finally I remembered to put him up. He thought that was really strange. All right, this is, and I'm not doctor, I tell him that, but hey. This is the feedback that we got after 5 weeks. And I'm very flattered, but we are getting this, that I think that everything you've done in this course has been perfect for an online setting. Now, and some of the part about being organized, I mean, some of it is just ridiculous how many times you'll say do this, do it this way, do it this way, and yet I'm still, there's one down here that says I wish there was an alarm that would go off to tell us when things are due. It goes off 4 or 5 times a week, but then you know that's a personality thing, I think. All right, here's just sometimes professors fail to understand that we as students really want to know how we're doing in the course and don't provide us with feedback appropriately. So I really do appreciate that aspect of your curriculum. So I guess she is saying, the quick grading. Again, they're going to, I committed to that. Now I have one exam, my next one that's coming up, that's all multiple choice and true false. But this first exam, they had to do these little quotation, identify some quotations, so I had to go in there and grade them. And yeah, I was, it takes time. So I think the students have to realize that an online class is not a cinchy thing, as the impression that they may have, but also for the instructor. I know a lot of times you can just put a bunch of quizzes on there and a bunch of tests that Blackboard can grade. So I have tried to make it very diverse. The discussion boards really help with, believe it or not, somebody wanted more discussion board. But guess what we did? We added a little cafe forum for those who just love to, to banter, and there are a couple of them who do. Slide presentations, we've got PowerPoint slides that I will show you in a moment. They can run those off, and then when they're listening to my lectures, they've got that slide in front of them. See, this part, I think, all right. Okay, this person, let's see. I'm getting this word organized, and that's what we were shooting for. I'm finding this class to be very organized and easy to grasp. I am taking other online classes as well, and I'm finding it to be a lot more difficult to keep up with everything that goes on. So, maybe we've dumbed it down, but it's working. And at the end of the day, what you want to hear on the evaluations is that I learned a lot. I learned a lot. So this is helpful. I'm trying to find the one that says that they sure do wish there could be more. This is my 4th online class I've taken, and by far, anyway. This class is a great setup, and the grading system, I think the small group discussion, and there are 50 people in this class. We did decide, as far as the discussion groups, we put like 8 in a group. We had them a little bit smaller, so there were more groups. So that works out, and then that gives, because believe it or not, I had one time when there were just 5 in a group. This gal emailed me and said, look, I posted once, because they post twice in 1 week. They respond to somebody else's post. Nobody ever responded, and so she was afraid she wasn't going to get her 10 points. So that's when and I said, certainly by the end of the week, if nobody else has posted, I'm not going to penalize you for that. They did post. Okay, let's go back, and I'll show you. We'll see a lecture. I guess we can hear it. All right, so that's the feedback. I think that was okay at 5 weeks. Let me find one here. Okay, these are the slides that they can copy. So these are the slides. So they copy those. And these are the slides that I'll go back and for the lecture. Okay. Now here's the lecture part.
Say no.
I should say no?
Yeah.
Should I go back?
Go back to
This?
No, where's this last one? The next one. No, nothing to do.
All right, wait a minute.
Click back in the Blackboard.
Just go back.
Or go to courses. You can do it.
Well, here's how I do it. Let's do it this
You
way.
do that.
Yeah. And I want this 301, module 5. Okay.
So when it says that, click on that.
See? Okay. And say no. All right, I got that. Okay. All right. Here's a lecture. Say no. And this is cooking. And in the lectures, we tried to put as many visuals as we possibly can. I'm getting ready to show you one. And so it's not just an outline or words there. What can we do?
See if we got your sound on here.
I am. Turn it way down. We had sound on the.
Still trying to come up. I don't know why it seems like that.
Ooh, turn it
Okay,
down.
third wave. This would be
Turn
your
it down.
generation X. Now, one thing I'd like to note here is by the time the second wave got started, everybody in the first
Now, if I go to the next slide, how do I do that? Because I want to show them some. This. Okay, so this is an example. Now, this is an.
there are 3 women aware of have articles
And this is. I have an error here. I got to change it. See, we tried to put the...
They co-founded the Third Wave Foundation. Third Wave Foundation. Most women of your generation don't refer to themselves as feminists, but as third wave. One of the most important pieces that they have written is the Manifesto of Young Women, Feminism, and the Future.
All right, so here's the next one.
So, Rebecca Walker. Rebecca Walker is a writer. Her mother is Alice Walker. She wrote The Color Purple. And we have some reading and videos of Alice Walker as well. She went to Yale. Her parents separated. Her mother was Mexican American and her father was Jewish. So she went back and forth growing up. Her mother was a very
Should I just go back here? The which button?
The one at the top.
This? Unless y'all want to hear my lecture. Yes.
For these videos, do you limit them to certain length of time for each video, or is there any how long each video is?
Yes. And I don't know why it doesn't show here, really. Does it? Do I go back again? Hit this?
It should have gone back forward. You have that on your phone.
Yes. It's when the slides come up, it'll say, it does on my computer, that it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, most of them are. I was going to show you something else in Module 5. See, 4 slides, 10 minutes, 48 seconds, and one may be 5 minutes, one may be 2 minutes, but it's right beside it. And then they can make copies of those slides that you saw, and they've got those printable slides. And we were.
Is that part of the format, or do you have to set that up?
See, you're asking me a question that you have to ask somebody here.
It's a Adobe Presenter, which is a plug-in that you can add to PowerPoint, and you actually have to purchase it. But what it lets you do is narrate and record on top of PowerPoint, voice over PowerPoint. But when you publish the presentation, it publishes it to Breeze. So you can publish it as a PDF, you don't have to, but if you publish it to the Breeze server, then it's just a link that you can click on as opposed to having to have the whole PowerPoint.
This is an
You have to download the presenter plugin. You can buy that from the technology webpage on Blackboard.
But I mean, as far as the time of the video goes.
Oh,
you
yes.
have to actually
Yes,
type
that's
that
in
in
Blackboard.
yourself.
When you add that into Blackboard, if you click that little down arrow and watch beside America.
Yeah.
No, go over. Beside the word America. See your little drop down thing?
I don't see, you mean no?
In the title.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Wrong America.
Yeah, you got to there, click edit. When you build this in Blackboard, yeah, put the link and then type.
The reason I was asking is I'm seeing for my course right now is the professor did not do that. So
Right.
the students were always wondering how long they needed to devote to watching the video.
So what you're saying is this type information was
Right.
not there?
Correct.
Okay.
So, I did all the in terms of the technology, are there any limitations to how long the video can be actually recorded on Blackboard?
When it's a link on Breeze, no. If they're actual videos, some of them get too big to be uploaded on the Blackboard, and you can also run into limitations on the course size.
Okay.
Now, generally, technology is pretty good about making the course bigger, but if you save them and load them with Breeze classes, proposal. Now, for recorded lectures, I think, didn't you pretty much stick to around 10 minutes or something like that?
Yes. Yes, each lecture series would be about that. Would be about that.
Otherwise, it's
Yes.
I need to get in there, so let me memorize the blue.
Okay.
Pull it all the way in.
Okay.
And just say cancel, because it's not really going to change that.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
It did, thank you.
Okay, I wanted you to see this. Say this is an article for them to read. I guess it's going to come up. No, it's a magazine article. I don't know why we can't see it. I just wanted them to see the different types of material. Very colorful article from. This is all right. This is. Let's see. All right, this one will come up. Again, instead of just go to chapter 2 in a book, this is an article that we were talking about. Jennifer Baumgardner and Amy Richardson. So this was a great article by them. Now, whether they read it or not. Close. Where is it? Where's the arrow? Not that one.
Yeah.
No. Yes?
Yeah. You did.
Okay, and this is all in this video. Here's a. This is a college campus, and Richards and Baumgardner are presenting there. So they can see them. You know, we're talking about this person and these people. And so they get to learn about the people. We really try to put as much of this type of thing as we could. Here's one with Rebecca Walker. So, just to give you an idea. Now, these, and this is a reading in their book. Course discussion groups. Here was the discussion question. Respond to one classmate posting. I have changed this to Sunday just because we know it's football season. Exam review.
Okay, exam review. You will have 15 multiple choice questions, 15 matching questions, 10 true false questions, 3.2. You're also going to have 4 quotes of the application. What I'm going to want here is, and this quote is going to come from primary sources of reading that we have discussed, but what I'm going to want are 4 things for you to get all 5 points. You're going to have to tell me the name of the document. You're going to have to identify the person who wrote it or who you identify with that document. You need to tell me the time period. It's either first wave, second wave, third wave. And then you're going to have to give me about 4 sentences. You know, a good paragraph. Don't give me a page. Just give me a nice paragraph that tells me what it is. Now, also, you're going to see in this list of terms some that we have discussed, like androcentrism or misogyny. But just make sure you know the definitions in case they're on the matching. They were in your reading. So if you will just make yourself familiar with all the terms that are in this list that you'll see with the exam review, you're going to do fine. You'll do just fine. Now, one thing we are going to do, we're going to, after this slide, there's going to be a little practice Blackboard exam. It's going to be light. It's just so you can make sure you know how to go in, take the exam, and just answer a few questions. Do keep in mind that once you click on take the exam, and most people finish within 30 minutes, so don't stress about that. However, once you click on to take the exam, it will shut down after an hour and 15 minutes. And this is the time that you normally have in the classroom. So take the little practice exam, and we're going to, before you take the exam, we'll give you a sheet to remind you exactly how to do it. And this is the exam review. And just be familiar with these terms. Okay, great.
Okay.
See if you click right there to take it back.
And then we have this exam. One, we made it very clear. Could not be clear. And then the exam review is a sheet that has everything on it that I talked about. So X this, yeah. Okay, and then this was the little sample exam. Anybody want to see that? I think we need to go further. And it had questions like, the University of South Carolina is located in Columbia, China, you know, A, B, C, or D, that kind of thing. The mascot is, you know, cocky tiger. So I couldn't believe I got questions like, do I get credit for this? Okay, so those are the modules. The checklist. And most students think this is so valuable. Let's look at number 2. So every week they can make a copy of this checklist. This is what needs, just like going to the grocery store, participate in group discussion, read the F word, view the first wave, blah, 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 blah. That's everything they were supposed to do that first week. Even though it's all over the module, if they went off, if they would run this off and then click on it. That's been very popular. Course discussion board. This is where, now they have a tendency just to email me, but if they have a question, this was one where he came into class late and he couldn't access the discussion group. I figured it out and I emailed him and told him that what discussion group he was in. Now, students can also answer the question, and some of these other students did that. This is where they did those student introductions, and all the 48 that I ended up with did that. This is that student cafe, and I put optional because I would get a million emails saying, oh, is this something new that I don't know about, for those who wanted more discussion. So we just added that. Nickel and Dime, that's a book that they read, and these are worksheets that they will fill out. This is part of their final exam, so those are on there. Check grades, of course, this is where they can go and check their grades. Send email, put this on there so it would be easy for them. They can hunt me down no matter what, put the tools here. And then, of course, I use the grade center. So that's pretty much the course structure. The materials, we've used lectures And you just saw that in the modules, readings, books, articles, and in the shorter courses, like for the summer, and we're going to develop this for an 8-week course, we've made some of these optional, because you know there's just so much they can do in a certain period of time. We've left it on there, but they were optional. Even had a student this summer who liked it, a guy who liked it so much that he emailed me and said he even read all the optional stuff. Videos, we've gotten videos from YouTube, so we've had some copyright issues on some things, couldn't access. But normally what we would do if, say, there's one on Gloria Steinem, there were, 6 little YouTubes, so we put them on there. They watched it that way. A lot of visuals. We've even got some cartoons on here, funny cartoons, photographs, a lot of graphs. The assignments, we've got discussion groups, quizzes, exams, these little analytical papers. So there are a lot of things. It's not just like you will have 3 exams, because a lot of them don't do well. What else? I think as one thing that's so important is this personal and frequent communication. Sure.
How many students do you usually have?
Well, we've decided to cut it down because I spend a lot of time putting out fires, but so far they've been 50. And even in the summer 1 was 50, summer 2 was 50. So we're going to have 35. Cut it back to 35 because there is a lot of, they all have a lot of issues, personal issues, and so you spend a lot of time doing that. I don't think it makes a difference to them as much as it does the instructor. And I have a TA, but I'm very hands-on with this. The classroom is different. Flexibility, I stress these deadlines, but I just told them, hey, we're going to bump these discussion boards up to Sunday. I'll throw them a little bone like that every now and then. They like me for that. But do stress the deadlines. They're important. This morning they had a quiz to be completed. A little 5-question quiz. They had 2 tries on the quiz. There are about 5 of them, I think, over the semester. And she didn't do it before the deadline, and Blackboard shuts it down. So I have to tell her why she didn't get it done, even after a week. Not to say if somebody has an emergency, I won't go back and try to figure out a way to open it for them. The evaluations and the feedback, I think that 5-week thing is a good idea. I did do at the end of this class a little farewell message. Put my picture up there and said thank you for taking this course, and if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know, and I hope you had a few aha moments and whatever. It's a little cheesy, but but that's just me. I wanted them to have the feeling that I was always lurking. And I will tell you a little funny story, and then I know y'all might have some questions. But I walked into, this has happened to me twice in the last couple of weeks, walked into a restaurant on Forest Drive, and I had been playing tennis. My hair was up in I had on a visor, and my hair was up in a ponytail, and I was not very fresh looking. But I thought I would get this takeout order that I particularly liked. So I walked in, and there were 3 young gals behind the counter, and all I said is, I would love to have an order of your spinach lasagna to go. And this little gal looked under my visor and said, do you by any chance teach a women's studies class at the university? And I said, I do. And I said, how did you know? She said, well, I recognized your voice. I thought, Lord, I must sound like Paula Dean or somebody. But she recognized my voice. Then I walked into the student health center and said, gosh, I'd like to have a flu shot. That's all I said, and had it happen again. So, they remember you. So, anyway, questions? Any questions about all this?
I have a question. You teach an online continuing ed course, and I guess we all assume that students are going to know how to use Blackboard, but is there a YouTube video or something, or how do you deal with students who, you know, I get email and stuff because they can't find the assignment right to do whatever, and I send it back to Blackboard just because for grading purposes and for records, I say you have to submit it to Blackboard and just email it to me. But I realized that I just kind of assumed that they know how to use Blackboard.
Is there not some orientation when they come
Not
to the?
really. You know, they can go to UTS for help, but I think when you build online classes, as much as you can put in there with your class, detailed directions on how to do things, that's where they're going to get their training on how to do it. So, yeah, right now there's not any like one generic thing that says how we use Blackboard. Right, practice assignments, practice quizzes like you have back there. But you know, a lot of them have not used it before.
They want the. Oh yeah, yeah. They sure do. They really do. Another thing here is with each module we did list here what they should gain from that or learn from that particular module. We've tried to add most everything. And for exams, we would, just light up like a Christmas tree here, exam 1. Yeah, in the classroom, I don't use the Blackboard very often. We'll post grades and absences, but I've used it very little. So maybe the students, by the time they get to an online class, again, you assume maybe that's something that needs to be addressed. There needs to be some step 1, step 2.
And I think we're out of time, but Becky wants to take questions if anybody has any more questions.
Yeah, any more questions?
If you need to scoot, just please remember to do your evaluation and also take your schedule because we have lots more good things coming out. But if you can stay and ask more questions. But I'm going to thank you for coming.
Oh, you are welcome. I hope if somebody picked up even a little morsel of something. Any questions from anybody?
Thank you.
You are welcome.